They are literally stealing America. Hi, my name is Ali Schwaga, and this is 10 Points to Ponder, where we like to talk about all the things that get you canceled: race, politics, Jesus, and manhood. Today, I have a topic that covers all four of these, which is the rampant and pervasive looting and stealing that we have been seeing in our cities. So let's first start with the topic of race and why that's important. Well, if you look at who's actually doing the stealing and looting, what you'll find is that it's a lot of black people that are going into Nordstrom's and Macy's and all these big city places and stealing stuff. They're coming in groups of 30 and 40, forming a flash mob, just running through the place, grabbing whatever they can and running out. And of course, you'll be happy to know that these people are being safe because they are wearing their masks and they're wearing their hoodies so that they are safe from COVID. This started with the BLM riots of 2020. At first, the riots apparently were peaceful protests, and then Antifa came in and started smashing windows and telling all of these people at the protest, let's go in here and get some money. Let's go get some goods. Let's go actually steal and get some bang for your protest bucks. The other part is obviously the demographics of the thieves, right? You've got black people who now feel emboldened because of their skin color to go around and do whatever, because if you say it's wrong, then clearly you're being a racist. The next part of this that deals with race is that it's said to be an acceptable response to a system of white supremacy. When we talk in these nebulous terms, when we talk in terms where you can't actually define what the problem is, then any solution becomes acceptable. And so all these people are doing when they're out looting and stealing in your cities is they're just getting reparations for a system that has been systemically racist against them, even though they can't identify the people or policies that are a cause for their lack of being able to be successful. Let's talk about politics. The reason that this is happening is because we have Democrat politicians, leftist, progressive politicians, and the media that are colluding to state that it's not that big a deal, right? They supported the protests, calling them mostly peaceful protests, although what you saw on the streets was absolutely completely different. They'd say it's mostly peaceful protests, and then you'd see a fire set, and you'd see a building smash. Even CNN, during the protests, had a segment in which someone was in their lobby watching a guy with a skateboard trying to smash the windows of CNN, who says it's a mostly peaceful protest. And this political lie is what's being mainstreamed and shown to people to say nothing to worry here about these people who are going around stealing thousands of dollars of goods. The next thing is that prosecutors choose not to prosecute people for certain crimes. They've established during the BLM riots that bail itself is racist. And furthermore, you had politicians like Kamala Harris actually supporting funds to bail people out after they got arrested during these riots, because now they're political prisoners of a systemically racist system rather than people who have committed a crime and deserve to be punished for that crime. It's also political because we have laws that are being put on the books that are making these things a misdemeanor. Basically, you get a slap on the wrist and get to go right back out and loot, especially in San Francisco, I believe, if what you stole was under $950. Imagine that. So I can go to any place, and so long as what I steal, I start counting it up. Maybe I start doing a calculator on my phone as I'm going around looting to make sure that I don't exceed the limit, and it's all free. Let's talk about Jesus and how this relates to a biblical understanding of right and wrong. It says in the scriptures that him who stole should steal no longer, but instead should work. This is the problem with our society. We don't want people to work. We've created systems like welfare that incentivize people not to work. We've extended unemployment benefits. We've done an eviction moratorium. We've incentivized all these people not to work. And so stealing is obviously the next step. If I can live in a house and not pay my rent and not be held accountable, then how's that any different than me going to Nordstrom's and taking that same equivalent of goods and not being held to account? So we've got a society that, again, incentivizes theft, although the Bible says, let him who stole steal no longer. Also, there's a restorative component in the scriptures. We, because of the criminal justice system, are no longer seeking to restore what has been stolen, right? So someone goes and steals items from a store and then gets off scot-free, doesn't have to attend their next court hearing or anything. They just continue on in doing it, which emboldens others to do the same thing. So we have no restorative justice. We have no system in which someone is held accountable for things that they should not be doing. Lastly, it's funny that one of the things it says about Satan is that he comes to steal, kill, and destroy. When people are stealing, taking from other people, they're actually doing the work of Satan. That's a heavy thought, that someone just has no care in the world, thinks that they're getting some sort of perverted sense of justice by stealing stuff, right? The same stuff that they're going to post on Instagram. And yet actually what they're doing is they're joining in league with the enemy who comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Lastly, let's talk about manhood. This theft is a direct result of the lack of fathers. If 75% of black babies are born without a father, without a man in the home, then they do not have the benefit of the first law, right? There's always been that concept where if you steal something, you fear your father because he's going to enact punishment. He won't let you steal. He's the one that gets to teach you morals and how to have respect for other people and other people's property. Since we have a whole generation without fathers, without men in the home, then this is obviously the direct result. And the state then comes in and says, oh, well, we just have to let it be. You don't understand the struggle that they've gone through, etc., etc. All excuses. We have a lack of authority in this society. We're concerned more about enacting and enforcing mask mandates than stopping people from shoplifting. We're more concerned about making sure it's over your nose and your mouth than people going who are covered nose and mouth and stealing, taking your shoes, taking your bags, taking clothing, taking TVs and electronics, everything. And we say nothing about it? That is a result of a lack of manhood in our society. We've become so effeminate that we just allow anything and everything to go because, oh, we want them to be friends. We want to show how kind and caring we are by allowing people to break the law. The last thing when it talks about manhood is what I spoke of in my last couple of videos, which is Kyle Rittenhouse. So here's a man who stands up and defends property and defends himself, and he is vilified. So we've got a culture also that has light punishments for the criminal, but the person that goes and tries to protect their property, the person that's building things, is the enemy. He's looked at as the bad person. He's the vigilante. Although they're going around just taking stuff. And that's why I say that we are literally witnessing the stealing of America. The plan, the ultimate plan by these progressive leftists is to demonize America and say that our system, built upon individual liberties and rights, is a system that is flawed, is a system that needs to be dismantled. They want to create as much chaos as possible and take away the rights of individuals to stand against that chaos as much as possible so that the people in society will clamor ultimately for some enlightened elite person, some person who's a lot smarter and a lot more morally superior than us to come in. He's going to come in and take control, and it's at the small cost of your freedoms and individual liberties. That's why I think it's being allowed in our country. Those are my thoughts. What do you think? Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. My name is Ali Schwaga, and this has been 10 Points to Ponder.